Welcome everyone. You're listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sauce Sports. I'm your host, Peeze and I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, Terry Tam. Terry, how's it going?
Yeah. Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. We don't actually have an interview on the show because we did a full-length interview. We bothered the former Expos Vice President David Sampson for a full hour.
Executive Vice President.
Sorry?
Executive Vice President. He made a point
Executive
to
Vice
say
President. I feel like you just add the executive to it is like squash clubs and stuff.
Imagine it's like you get hired at a job. He's like, yeah, I'm the vice president of this place. Yeah, but are you the executive vice president? And he's like, no. And then he panics. He's like, fuck, did I just lose? And then he goes
call the guy who made his business card and yo, I need 5,000 more, but add executive.
Can you just write it sideways, exec, right on top of that? It'd probably be cheaper.
Just cross it out. What's the crappiest job title that you can give yourself executive to? For example, I don't know, executive retail assistant.
Executive. Trying to think of something with sanitation, shit. What are those guys that clean porta potties? Executive VP of porta potties.
All right, executive sanitation engineer. Perfect.
I mean, I was gonna say
actually good.
I was gonna say executive assistant. Assistant is a pretty bad one.
Yeah, or no, just executive assistant to the regional manager.
Well, in my case, executive producer.
Yeah, big time.
Well, I will say that while David was kind to give us his time, being the executive associate to Jeffrey Loria kind of makes you the executive to the regional manager of baseball. So
it was great, man. Honestly, it was fantastic. It'll be released tomorrow, so Friday morning you'll be able to see that, and it was cool to talk to him. I had a really good time. I still think he's a bit of a weasel, but a good weasel. He's just a weasel, the type of weasel that you see it. He's very transparent with that, but it's not a bad weasel. It's I don't think I can trust him, but I do believe that he did make at least somewhat of an effort.
Yeah, he look, we have our opinions on it, and I think the truth lies somewhere in between. He to his credit, he answered everything we said.
Everything, didn't back down.
He addressed situations in Montreal, and he was kind with his time. So definitely looking forward to having him on. I'm going to write a piece about it as well, where I'll go into some detail where we didn't have time to go into detail because, believe it or not, Terry, I left about 4 pages of questions on the cutting floor yesterday because we just ran out of time.
I wanted to ask him a bit about Survivor because I watched he basically was on for one half of the first show. There's 2 eliminations per episode, I guess. I never watched.
He got cut immediately.
Nobody was the first cut, not even the second cut on the first day.
So if you're a baseball fan, wasn't that the first warning that people on Survivor didn't trust him?
Yeah, I guess so. It's but the thing is that he was the leader of his group. They were called the Brains, and he was the leader of his group, and he still got voted off. Apparently, he tried to make a little bit of an alliance, and then all 3 of them ended up stabbing him in the back.
Yeah, every single one.
I had to read up on it because I didn't see the episode.
I'm aging quickly, as it turns out. I don't understand a lot of things, and I'm gonna eventually get to a question. And I think Eagle has to be the one to explain this to me. But one of the things I've yet to understand, and Eagle, don't bother with this first one because I've had this explained to me. I've watched videos. I've read a book.
Wow,
I've spoken to people in finance who've tried to explain it to me. I don't understand why you need to mine Bitcoin, why you can't just say you have it, how that process exists. I think it's a whole bunch of nonsense. Look, I'm throwing a bunch of money into it, so whatever, but I don't understand it.
Dogecoin?
I don't know how it all works. I think it's a bunch of snake oil in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
You want the simplest way I can explain it?
Sure.
Yes.
You know how a bank teller does your transactions when you go to bring money to the bank?
Mm-hmm.
And the teller is paid to do that work?
Yeah.
Mining Bitcoin is being a bank teller for Bitcoin.
So, but where are the where does the Bitcoin have its genesis, right? Because you brought cash to the bank, you brought gold bars to the vault,
You are, but think of it this way: you are basically doing math and calculations and transactions on behalf of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency engine, and in doing so, you get compensated for doing that work with Bitcoin yourself.
Once you solve it and you find the Pokemon, don't you know that it's going to be there all the time?
Yes, and that's the thing, though, right? You have to go find a Firestone so you can evolve your Eevee into a Flareon. That's the key differentiator between, like, for example, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You got to keep that in mind.
How quickly does Harry Potter find them?
Yeah.
Not as fast as Snape kills Dumbledore.
All right, makes sense.
Oh, okay, all right.
But Terry, that's not even the one that confuses me. The one that confuses me, I don't know if you've seen this. Top Shots.
It sounds familiar.
So Top Shots is essentially, it's like trading cards.
Oh,
like
yes.
Or whatever. But you're buying clips or parts of clips where you don't own the rights, but you own the clip, and that clip has inherent value.
It doesn't make sense to me because it's like I can have the clip in my phone, and he can own the top shot of that video, but he doesn't get royalties from it, but somehow he owns the video, and he bought it from who? Not even the person that made the video.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Who came up with this? The person that came up with this.
The funny thing is, I actually know one of the people who came up with this, and they just made a really big transaction off of it on a LeBron clip. So, yeah.
But whoever came up with this should be put out to pasture. Like, don't over fucking confuse people here. Okay? Like,
some of us are getting old, you know? Like, it's not easy.
The fuck? Why? Like, smart people should be doing. This person is a smart person. Okay, they're very smart, a lot smarter than me. Absolutely. So, why do this? Like, you can use your smarts for other smart shit. Like, I am not smart. I'm like a passing grade. This guy is like, he wrote the exam. Do something else with your brain, not this weird stuff. I'm fucking lost.
Eagle, like, my question to you is how do these things have value? Why couldn't you just fake a Top Shot and create like a clip yourself? And who's gonna pay you the $3,000 that whatever clip is worth?
So I think the difference here is if this was hockey cards and there was a physical card, it's easier for you to understand, right? I own it and I can sell it to someone else who wants it for their collection at a certain value. The card itself has intrinsic value of only how much someone's willing to pay for it. The only difference here is your trading card is digital and someone wants the digital copy of it.
But I do that all the time. I'll go on your Instagram and I'll just copy the link and I'll save it on my phone.
Yes, but you don't own the clip. But
neither do these people. That's the thing.
Yes, they do. They physically own the Top Shot clip of this. Okay, you don't get any money for owning it in the same way you don't get money for having that hockey card on your shelf in your basement.
So there's only one video, one type of. Let's say there's the video of the fight we're gonna watch. That video is on Top Shot one time only.
The limited quantity. I don't know the exact details, but yes.
Can we get Gianni on the show so he can explain this to me next week?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, if Eagle, if you can reach out, that'd be a great guest. Because it's pretty cool.
He's also was a sick football player, and he's an awesome guy. And
I mean, was he?
And not flag football like us, Eagle. Like, we excel in flag football. We're fucking out of shape. He was a good
athlete than he is, obviously.
The guy played. He was like the backup quarterback at McGill. He was a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's when McGill wasn't very good. So when you're the backup at not a good team, really, what does that say?
Well, listen, I don't think he.
I love how we're like shitting on the guest we want to get on.
I'm not shitting. I don't think he wanted the CFL or the NFL, but the guy was good enough to be there. Like, he was a very good player.
Yeah. I don't understand how we're doing this, where we make something digital to be a scarce quantity, where in reality the benefit of digital is replication.
It's weird. And I'm
all those brains, and all you got is yep.
So, put it this way: someone's willing to spend money on that clip. That's all you need to know about how stupid people are. But someone wants to buy it, so I'm gonna sell it to you. Why not?
There's a market for it. Fine.
I'll sell you a bottle of air if you want to pay for it.
We can start Top Sauce, okay? And we could do our own fucking thing where it's just videos of me and Alex the intern.
Eagle, Terry, I got.
But if someone wants to buy it, why not? Right? Maybe Alex's mom wants to buy all the clips.
I got an easier one, and we're gonna make so much money. Top porn.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Gotta do top porn. So you'll get started on building top porn. But before you do that, we got lots to talk about because it is time for the news.
Can't do this. I'm a little stoned right now, and that may be more stoned. Can't do this. I don't understand how people can spend money on this.
Terry, it's the news.
Fucking doesn't make sense, man.
I know.
And I'm high, so it's even worse.
It's nuts. For those of you who like those types of conversations, who want to see our interviews, those of you who want to get our thoughts on economics that we don't understand, or the sports stories that we cover week in, week out, remember
next week cannabis stocks.
Sorry?
Next week cannabis stocks. I have some. I don't understand a lot of them.
I got a lot of them, and I don't understand any of them. So
there you go.
Yeah. So where we got to start today, obviously, it's a bit of a downer story, but definitely something that could have been far more tragic. Tiger Woods is in a horrific car crash. The car rolled. It happened yesterday. We haven't gotten many more details other than the fact that he's fine. He went through surgery and he's in recovery. The car accident looked terrible. It was in Los Angeles. Some of the details provided by the LA County Sheriff, Alex Villanueva. It was a road that sort of goes downhill and then has a sharp turn. There are a few accidents that do occur there. There were no brake or skid marks at the point of departure from the road, as Eagle puts up the statement. So obviously, Tiger's fine. I want to ask you a question, Terry. I want you to be honest. How quickly did your mind go to, is this the pills again?
Right away.
Yeah,
same. Right away, but it didn't stay there. And I'm 100% honest about this, is that it went there. I'm like, oh fuck, was he on pills again? Like, because it happens, like everything's going good, and then you crumble. And then I realized, I'm like, he's been really good. I'm like, let me wait another 5 minutes to see what happens, because it was the first thing I see, right? And then I waited, I didn't say anything, and then finally people were sending me the tweets, and I was seeing it on my timeline, and I was like, okay, it makes more sense now. I don't think he was doing anything bad.
I mean, look, it doesn't seem to be the case. He didn't have any. There was no evidence of THC or alcohol, so that's a good sign. It was also the morning, so it's not likely.
There's a lot of evidence of THC in my blood right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, same here. Like, we would not pass that test, even though we haven't done it right now.
I guarantee you, on that highway now, going down where he got into the accident, they probably had like maybe 3 or 4 signs. There's probably 20 on each side.
Yeah,
just like now that Tiger's hurt, you're gonna see what's gonna happen.
What's crazy to me is the lack of any sort of panic that he did. So the reason why my mind with the pills was because how far the car traveled from the curb, and also the fact that there were no skid marks or no brake marks, led me to believe, well, did he just fall asleep?
Yeah, it was early. Right?
And it was early in the morning. So we don't have all the details. We don't want to speculate too much. Obviously, the fact that he is all right is important. Terry, today's sports media actually made me feel kind of gross, as I saw people instantly talking about, what does this mean about his future as a golfer? What does this mean about the Masters? And it's just like, man, give the guy a second to relax. And they didn't even get all the details right at first. They were saying he was removed by the jaws of life, and the hospital techs were saying that wasn't the case. They just broke the window to remove him. It just seems like everyone's just trying to run to the sensations and all the sports links before they just deal with the fact that this man who's a father, this man who has a family, who has people who love him and care about him, was in a terrible car accident.
It's sad. It's sad a bit, but that's the thing too, is like everybody right away is like, oh, what's gonna happen? Whatever. I wrote a tweet. I'm like, is it just me, or can I picture Tiger Woods winning the Masters in 2022? Like you know what I mean? Like that was the first thing I'm like, I can see it happening. Like
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, him just coming back. Is
that because we're kind of addicted, because sports movies have told us for years and years and years that you're at the top and then we can't like you, but then you fall, and then we all want the redemption story. And it's like, what if he was just he's been awesome basically his entire career, for except for a couple of years in the middle there, but the fact that he's even still competitive at this age is as as impressive as Tom Brady is.
He won the Masters 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
2 years ago.
Question though, this happened at 7 a.m., right? Yeah. So where do you think he was going, or where do you think he was coming from?
Well, he was driving.
Maybe he had a late night out, met up with 1 or 15 different women in that period, and was coming home to make breakfast for his kid.
He was at a tournament yesterday.
That tournament ended on Sunday, though. He was driving that car, like the Genesis Invitational car.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe he was working for. I know he's heavily involved in that tournament because it's LA and he's an LA guy. So maybe he was working for them. I don't know.
So when you see this, let's be gross for a second. When you see this, is this good or bad marketing for Genesis?
This is great marketing for Genesis. Anytime you see that accent, that picture, you're going to see Genesis Invitational right on top. Like, it's not like, I think it's the best publicity you can get.
Well, and the fact that he didn't die, right? Like, it's so safe.
Yeah, it's not like a car's on fire. You just see the logo in the middle,
The other thing that I saw in the story, and it made me kind of reflect and look at, like, what is it we're doing journalistically when we see, Tiger Woods was saved by wearing a seatbelt. Oh, he was saved by doing the most basic thing you do when you enter a vehicle. I don't think I've ever sat in a car without my seatbelt on. I was thinking about it. It just, that's what you do, right? Like I don't know. I can't think of even something else. Like when you go to the shower, you turn the water on. Like you don't forget to turn the water on. It's the same.
But why? Or else you'd just be standing in the shower like a doofus.
Yeah, but why would you be sitting in the car like a doofus?
Well, you're not sitting in a car. You're driving.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like
you're actually doing something. We're in the shower. You're just standing. Like this. What am I doing here?
So there's
that was the last time Terry that he got pulled over. Wasn't sure who he was. But
there's a dad joke actually that goes something about Tiger is driving in whatever brand car is sponsoring him at that point. So now it's gonna be Genesis. Go through like a hick town to get gas, and there's a bunch of people outside, just hanging out there. And as he gets out of the car, a bunch of teas fall out of his pocket, and they. Let's say rednecks, just to like keep it nice and simple in terms of the audience we're talking about. They go, "Hey, what are those for?" And Tiger goes, "Well, you put your balls in them when you're driving." And the rednecks respond, "Wow, these car makers really think of everything."
Eagle, you would be the best fucking car marketer guy of all time.
That's true. It's a fact. And the NFL has started to talk about some of its ownership, and we've talked a lot about Dan Snyder's ownership of the Washington football team. That team won't have a name once again next season because obviously never even gave thought to changing it in the past. But that team has now been rumored and linked to Jeff Bezos in what they call would be a minority stake. I laughed audibly. I actually LOL'd at the idea of someone as powerful as Jeff Bezos buying a minority stake in a team.
It's crazy.
He very clearly, I think, will own a team. And when he does, it will not be a minority partnership. I think he would be instantly accepted by the owners because he's going to overpay because $4 billion is literally pocket change to Jeff Bezos. And it's going to drive up the value of all the other teams. And by the way, this is another thing that I don't really see being talked about, but Amazon is not only just a shopping site, it's also trying to get into the NFL rights game. So the idea that one of the owners is also involved on the broadcast side of it, I think is very valuable to the ownership because they don't need to feel like, oh, well, you know what, we need to be on good terms with ESPN. We need to be on good terms with NBC. We don't need that anymore because we have Amazon Prime.
That's a good point. Especially if Amazon's going to start streaming the games, then but he's gone now. He left Amazon. He's not there anymore.
Well, he's still
involved, just not in daily operations.
He's not the CEO, but he's okay. He stepped down as CEO. He's
still the boss at Amazon. He's just not running things every day.
Okay, that's cool. Actually, I think that probably saved him money from his divorce settlement.
No, he paid out half. Like they had prearranged it.
Oh, okay. I thought that it was
became
still
one of the top 10 richest people in the world.
She became the second richest woman in the world.
Yeah, it was intense.
What the fuck is going on, man, with this world? How is that possible? I mean, listen, I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to get something from him, but like the half mark, it really scares me.
I think in that case, from what I understood, it was predetermined, and I felt as though it was sort of punishment for the cracks in the relationship being public. Yeah. Like it probably was. They had like an arrangement.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? She shouldn't be embarrassed. She didn't care.
Embarrass me, it's going to cost you half.
Yeah,
and he's like, no, I got caught.
She didn't care that he was having the affair, so she's like, yeah. So as soon as it's in the public, it was probably in the contract, right? Just keep it clean, and we're good to go.
Just with how fast it was resolved, it felt like it was drawn up in advance.
Yeah. I think he's also the type of guy where like just deal with it. Whatever she wants, just do it. You know, like one of those guys. I hope he becomes an owner. I mean, that'd be crazy to see. Like it's the first like big tech company to buy a team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, big tech. What I mean, like there's Google doesn't own a team. You know what I mean? Like any of the Yahoo doesn't. Own
Microsoft or Steve Ballmer from Microsoft owns the Clippers.
I'm talking about in the NFL.
The NFL, yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I was thinking of, and the reaction you're seeing all over the place is, finally the Washington football team will get rid of Dan Snyder and bring in this great guy as the owner. And I was just like, so like, what about what you've heard about working at Amazon makes you think that he's this nice, benevolent, lovely guy? Like he just has this sheen about him. Like he gets away with it because
he looks like a worm.
Like, they've had a lot of complaints, especially over the last year, about it, how it's been like to work at Amazon.
He's like he looks like a worm.
He does look like a worm.
He looks like a worm, and he's on steroids.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're that rich and not on steroids, what are you doing?
I really do think that he's on the sauce.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because he got jacked at one point. I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, he ordered some weights and they arrived next day.
Yeah,
and he ordered some sauce that came next day. And there you go. What is funny though is Washington's stadium is FedEx Field.
Washington Stadium is true.
So it's just
I was actually thinking about that.
FedEx out of commission.
I was thinking about that when you were saying, because you're like, we're gonna have like competition with networks. I'm thinking, I'm like, isn't there a FedEx Field? And I guess it's that.
That's the one. They're at FedEx Field. Hopefully, it'll soon be renamed as Intelcom Field, just because the pettiness would be awesome.
Pete, I do have a question though. Does Jeff Bezos know that the Washington football team is not in Washington State, but Washington D.C.? Because that might actually change his like ambition to buy the team. And he's like, wait, what do you mean it's not in Seattle?
Well, given the fact that he was attempting to buy the Washington Post and some would have you believe manipulated the results of the election, my guess would be he knows it's in Washington because that's where the tinfoil hat is.
Hey-oh.
There we go. There's this other story that's kind of a bring down, just a lot of sadness this week, and it's kind of tough to talk about, but we'll
bad mojo stuff,
We'll bring it back with rapid fire. Rapid fire will be a little lighter, but Vladimir Panarin, a story came out. It was leaked that a former coach said that he had beaten an 18-year-old girl in Russia. What's puzzling about this is it's uncommon for a third party in these situations to bring up something like this that would have happened. No mystery woman has come forward yet. The Rangers made a very strong statement in support of Artemi Panarin, but then they also gave him some time off. And I don't understand.
They let him have his time off. Like they're not going to penalize. They're not going to penalize him for the time off. He wanted the time off. He wanted to step away because he's scared for his family, because he supported Putin's opposition and on social media. So the people came out and they're like, well, like now he's scared for his life, basically. And that happened. This happened like maybe a couple months ago. And now it's coming out where he's like, now this story's coming out and he feels like he's like, my family, I have a lot of family over there. I don't want to like, have them hurt in any way, because that could happen in Russia, will happen in Russia. And so he's like, let me just cut it off now and let me figure out what's going to go on. But good for New York for backing him up, because there's no proof he did anything.
Well, that's the thing. It's good for New York, provided that's what happened.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
always sketchy with these kind of things because we don't want to get caught like 6 months later and all the details come out and you're like, well, fuck. So look, hopefully it all works out for him. And, if this is true, and the New York Rangers have been a very good organization for a long time, so I'd imagine they did the due diligence. It's very rare for a team to come out and make such a strong statement in a defense of a player. I think the last time I saw such a strong defense was the Patriots talking about Aaron Hernandez. So teams do make mistakes, but I think since then we haven't seen teams really take a stand like this, and they must really feel that he is being targeted as a victim of his political beliefs. So hopefully, if that's the case, hopefully this all works out for Artemi Panarin and the Rangers. We're not going to cut the break right now. We're going to go straight to rapid fire because, again, we're releasing the interview separately this week. We sat down with David Sampson, former executive vice president, fake title, of the Expos and Marlins. Of course, a lot of it, we're joking around in this tongue-in-cheek, but we actually really did have a great time talking to him. And I can speak for myself, Terry. I learned a lot, so I'm looking forward to that article to that interview coming up.
Terry, nothing
to say. What are you going to say?
I thought you were setting up something, and then Eagle can introduce rapid fire.
I thought you were just setting up rapid fire. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm just waiting for him to be done and start the next subject. But yeah,
Samson Eagle rapid fire.
All right, next, rear naked placeholder. Oklahoma wide receiver and placeholder Spencer Jones picked a fight with an MMA trained fighter and almost lost an eye. We get to watch that.
Rear naked. Look at me. Get out of here. Hey, boys, get out of here. Hey, get out of here. Oh shit, buddy.
Give me back.
Oh shit, young blood.
Back with my cowboy boots.
Hey, fucking around.
Look at this guy that comes to grab the shirt.
There's nobody coming back.
Guy here, he's gonna grab the guy's shirt. Like, hey guys, why don't you stop for a second and then walk away?
That's just funny, bro. Hey, guillotine. Hey, rear naked Joe. Tap out, motherfucker.
The guy corrected. He understood.
3, 2, 1.
This is like a pure jiu-jitsu movie. He's got his collar.
Oh shit, bro. Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing around, bro.
And there we go.
So there's a few things I like about this video. Actually, there's a lot of things I like about this video. One, cocky university guy getting his ass kicked. That's the best thing. Two is the Ben Askren looking kid, the wrestler, looks to his buddy while he's wearing cowboy boots. Mm-hmm. He looked at his buddy. He's like, which one do you want? Like, let me just do this for 5 minutes and we're going to go back home. Like, whatever happened. And then not only that, the third thing that I like is the smack on the cheek to keep his chin in place, and then the right over to connect so he can, like, kind of in between a rock and a hard place. Perfect. And then to shoot and suplex, take his back, rear naked choke to a bow and arrow. The transition this kid made, UFC should hire him right now. Legit.
I noticed some other things because, as you know, Terry, you're more of the fight expert than I am. I do like that you giggled at the title because that title was absolutely for you. The things I liked was dude with the camera. Maybe just put the camera down and break up the fight. Second thing, guy who walks over people on the floor to get out of the bathroom like nothing's happening. Maybe you can help. Yeah. The third thing I saw when I saw that happen was like, oh, you guys just fought on the floor of a bathroom. You all have STDs.
Every single one of you.
Every single one of them.
And
take a shower when you get home.
And COVID.
You got to scrape everything off you as soon as possible.
He did it in cowboy boots.
Yeah. It was impressive. It reminded me at the time, Terry. I don't know if I've ever told you the story. I was at a Montreal establishment called the Peel Pub. Famous for university students and tourists because the beer is super cheap. This
also
was
sticks to the floor like an inch of film.
Yeah, it's gross. I don't recommend it. But there's a lot of tourists that go there, a lot of bachelor parties, a lot of college kids. I was a college kid. It was about the time when the United States was at war with Iraq after 9/11, and this guy saw a guy who was in at the bar, and he was talking shit. And the guy he was talking shit to was a U.S. Marine.
Oh, right.
I know that because I had heard part of the conversation. And then the guy was just harassing him. So the Marine eventually gets up and leaves and says, "Listen, man, you got to leave me alone. I'm just trying to have a good night with my friend." The guy follows him out of the Peel Pub.
Of course,
I leave about 30 minutes later, where I find the man who was harassing the Marine in a heap. It was just, I couldn't even tell what was skin, what was bones, what was human, what was sweater. It was just a heap of mass on the ground. That's what it reminded me of.
That's the thing, is these U.S. Marines are so calm, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden,
like, I could imagine him not even like breaking a sweat as he just dismantled this human being.
Yeah, they're at a different level, these guys. Different level.
All right, next. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. ESPN has inked a deal giving them exclusive rights to air the NCAA Women's Frozen 4 hockey tournament on ESPN 3 and ESPNU. I think this is the first time a major network is going to be broadcasting women's hockey other than the Olympics.
We've had women's hockey on like NBC and ESPN. They've shown women's hockey, but it's the first time that there's that the Frozen 4 for the women is specifically going to be broadcast, and it's not just sometimes they just fill in airtime with whatever's available. This is an actual, we're guaranteeing you, we're investing, we're getting ads, like we're doing everything for you guys.
Yeah, they're guaranteeing an air spot, which is impressive.
Yeah, which is good. And
honestly, I don't know if you've heard the latest Healthy Scratch episode yet, Terry, but the guys talked about what they did with women's hockey before the season was canceled and the NWHL. They were broadcasting on Twitch, and they had some really, really, really great advances when it came to presenting their product to the consumers. They made it really exciting, really engaging. I'm happy for them, because the only way you can grow a sport is by investing in that sport. And Absolutely. ESPN did, and it's pretty impressive that college women's hockey is going to be on ESPN before the NHL returns to ESPN. So kudos to them. I'm excited for it. I enjoyed what I saw from the NWHL, chilling with Chris during the daytime. So I'm hoping to see this succeed in the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're going to cover it too. So like you mentioned Chris, we're going to get some good stuff. So if you are a fan and you want interest, follow us everywhere.
Yeah. Follow, like, subscribe.
All right. Next, Timber. I believe I may have the Timber.
There we go.
I may have the Dunk of the Year candidate for you in Anthony Edwards. So take a look.
Anthony Edwards.
Timberwolves will take off a little bit of time here.
I've seen this. He's got a left-handed too.
Anthony Edwards. That time he does finish with the exclamation point.
This kid, man, he's so good.
The game is so fast.
Exclamation.
Take off a little bit.
One more time,
here.
Just because it's so amazing.
This kid is so good,
that
man.
wasn't turned over. Anthony Edwards. That time.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the first time we're gonna see that. It's not gonna be the only time we're gonna see that. Did you see the people that got left off the All-Star list?
Devin Booker being one of them.
How? Even Doma.
Yeah, so
the Pacers. Like, there's some guys. Like, he's averaging like 24 points a game. I don't understand what do you need to be in the All-Star game.
This is kind of related, Terry. When I saw the dunk, I was super impressed, and I'm big on basketball analytics. I follow a lot of basketball analytics guys, and a lot of them were like, "Yeah, but he was 3 for 13." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. It's important to me too, but just enjoy the dunk." Yeah. Devin Booker, for example, his counting stats are great. His efficiency stats are not great, but that part of the reason is that he's the guy on the team who needs to be taking all the shots. And guess what? When I watch the Suns, I'm only watching because Devin Booker is there. He's an excellent player. I think there needs to be a balance. The analytics are important, but at some point, just enjoy the game. These guys are giving us a show at these incredibly young ages. Like Devin Booker's not even 25. Anthony Edwards isn't even 21. It's been impressive.
It's I'm very I have a positive outlook on the future of basketball.
Yeah,
quick thing for you guys. That clip is not on Top Shot yet. So, hey, maybe we can get in early.
Yo, let's invest.
Okay, so what do we have to do? What do we have to do?
Let's find out.
So now it's not on Top Shot. So I can upload it to Top Shot and start charging people?
I don't think that's how that works. That's why I got to figure out how it is. I think it's like a curated collection of content.
Eagle,
there's only one Anthony Edwards clip right now, and the minimum asking price is $1,700.
Eagle, add this to your list. Figure out Top Shots. Figure out Clubhouse. The thing Terry asked you to work on. My wedding vows for my wedding video. Do them now. Get them all done. Go.
Yep, that sounds good. Next topic, Freebird. Cam Newton responded to a young heckler at his football camp, and this video went viral.
You ass. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You about to be poor. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich. He's a free agent. Where your daddy at? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You ass. Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop? You ass. Where's you ass.
One way to shut up a kid.
You think this is staged?
I don't know.
I don't think it's staged. I think it's real.
Why would you go to a Cam Newton camp just to harass him? I don't understand the thought process.
But the kid ended up coming out and apologizing because he was getting a lot of hate online. Like, it's like this guy is exactly where you want to be. He's an MVP in the NFL. He's made $100 million. He's like set for life. You're at his camp to become him. So when if you're paying money to this guy to learn something from him, and you tell him he sucks, what does that say about you?
Yeah,
he was getting laughs, and he was getting laughs, and he liked it. That's what it was.
The thing is, I see this, and I honestly think that we need to include personal finances in school, because the fact that he thinks that Cam Newton will be poor if he doesn't get a contract means this guy does not understand finances. We need to make sure that youth get their shit right when it comes to money, because, man, I didn't learn that when I was young, and I suffered early on. So I'm hoping he can learn that as well. What's interesting, though, is I remember a similar situation with LeBron, and it ends up being all about perception, right? LeBron said in a press conference after, he's like, well, I don't really care because I go home and I'm still rich. And he got shit on for that because he came off spending. And Cam Newton basically said, well, I'm rich, but I guess it was just because the kid was being such an ass. And Cam Newton, when he was saying, I want to talk to your dad, he actually meant it and said, like, he said later on, he's like, well, I want to talk to his dad because it's a teaching moment. He needs to understand, the right way to talk to people. He needs to understand.
Where's your pa? Where's your pa? Where's your pa? Where's your pa? That was fucking funny.
So you think if this happens in any other sport, the conversation goes very differently? Like if this happens at like a hockey camp, does the player drop his gloves and beat the shit out of the kid?
Oh, that's a good point, Alex. So hockey, that kid needs an ass whooping for sure. But that would never happen in hockey. Guys on the ice will never say that to a professional hockey player teaching them stuff on the ice.
You're right. It's the dad in the stands that would say that instead. Yeah.
Exactly. That. Yeah. Well, he does. What does he know? He got cut last year. That's what he's gonna say.
And last one I have for you today, America's terms and agreements. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has made a lot of money in the energy sector and has made some news this week in that since Texas has had their huge winter storm, he's been essentially gouging customers by selling gas at an exorbitant price. Some gas bills being something like $14,000 for the month or something. The super premium prices. I guess is his way of compensating for the fact that they couldn't fill Cowboy Stadium this year.
That's crazy to me. And like I was telling you guys in the chat, was when the more you buy gas, the less value it has. So it drops, right? So we should always continue buying gas. This guy found a way where everybody's buying gas to charge it more so you can get 10 times as money. Like Jerry Jones is a fucking asshole. But I also don't think he's making calling all the shots for that company.
No, I mean, look, this is how he makes all the money, and whether or not he's calling all the shots, it's still you cutting the paychecks at the end of the day. So you're still responsible for your company. oh man, we didn't even get to the Mariner story, but it's okay. I have an article coming out. But I love when a guy like that, a guy like Kevin Mather, who's stepping down from the team, and he says in his statement, well, listen, these are my own thoughts. They have nothing to do with the Mariners. Same kind of thing. Jerry Jones, it doesn't matter. You're still in charge. You're still a boss there. Look, obviously a dirty move, but that's how these billionaires make a lot of money, And on one hand, they want us to feel bad when they're not filling seats and losing money by owning their teams. But at the same time, we all know this is not how you make the bulk of your money. You make the bulk of your money with your other assets, and this is his chief asset.
Millionaires buy teams. People don't become millionaires because they own teams.
That's true. Exactly. And, just the way he went about it, obviously kind of a shitty move. It's unnecessary in that they're consuming more gas anyway. You would have made more money anyway. It just seems like it was poorly thought out because there's not a way where you don't take a PR hit here.
No, I mean, I don't think he gives a shit either. He's one of those old guys where it's like, fuck everybody, man. I'll tell you, I'm going to do it. I swear. That's
well, look, between he's got to fit in. He's got to fit in carrying between drinking Johnny Blue and facelifts. There's not a lot of time, Terry.
You know what he's hoping for, though, right? They're hoping that the government is going to come in and say, okay, we're going to pay all the energy bills on behalf of all these people. So essentially privatize the profits and socialize the failures.
Fucking genius. Yeah. Too bad he can't win a Super Bowl in the 20s.
Why can't you build a team then, Terry? Boys, that was awesome. Again, the interview's coming out tomorrow. If you like what we do, remember to watch, like, and subscribe. We try not to say continuously throughout the show, but Eagle tells me that if I don't say it a minimum 3 times, he will kick me in the nutsack. So I don't like getting kicked in the nutsack, so I do try and say it 3 times. If you want to avoid me saying it, just get everyone you know to sign up, everyone you know to follow us, everyone you know to subscribe to our feed, because that's what keeps us on the air. Terry, thank you for everything you've done today. Eagle, thanks for the overtime this week. Super appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who listens, and thank you all for letting me be myself.
You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
Wow, we nailed it. That was almost perfect. So I started talking at the end.
I mean,
I would have gotten right ahead. I had to say.
This is better than usual, so we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll just take it.